Hey everyone, hope you had a fantastic weekend. I went up to a quiet spot on the Hawkesbury with some girlfriends, so it was really relaxing and beautiful, and so it was really hard to get started today. So I'm playing catch up today. So I'm Ange Sinclair and I'm the Digestive Detective. For the past 3 weeks, we have been talking about bloating. So if you haven't watched these in their entirety, pop back to the video section and check them out. So bloating is caused by a few things. So it's good to cover all bases when you have bloating. It's nice to know where to look. So far we have talked about what we eat, the way we eat, our digestive fire, and this week we're talking about our bacterial balance. So for me, this is a really crucial one because there are many things that disrupt our bacterial balance. The first one, which I go on ad nauseum about, is antibiotic use. So we know antibiotics kill all bacteria. They're not selective. They just go in and they decimate everything. So this really can disrupt our microbiome and our gut bacteria. So it can cause that opportunistic bacteria to thrive because they tend to be a bit more robust than you know, our normal bacteria. So once they are damaged, it will cause us to bloat. And so how we restore our gut bacteria is really, really important after we've had antibiotics. And it's not just necessarily a case of taking a probiotic, because that sometimes, you know, there's just a recent study came out saying that it's of no benefit. It actually takes us longer. So it's, for me, it's about prebiotics. So that's always a good place to look. The next one is our Western style diet. This can also play a really big role because our diets generally are high in salt and the wrong fats, and these can easily change the composition of our gut bacteria as well. We tend to have, when we have a Western highly processed diet, we tend to have gut bacteria that are higher in hydrogen sulfide producers. And these proliferate whenever we eat high fat diets. And these cause those really, really rotten egg farts. And they are bacteria that's commonly seen with people who have bowel cancer. So one of the things to think about there. So the other thing about our Western style diet that I like to point out too is it doesn't really have enough fiber. So remember, for women, it's about 28 grams of fiber a day you've got to have just to be healthy, and for men it's 34 grams. So I rarely see people eating this much fiber on a daily basis. And so this is one I think you can implement reasonably quickly into your diet. So add a vegetable or a piece of fruit extra, and so you know, over time you'll see that your bloating will decrease. But I would say to you, it can go the other way as well. So when you do this, start really slow and do them, you know, just add a little bit on one day until you get up to adding more and more. Because if you add it all too fast, you're overfeeding that gut bacteria and you'll cause yourself bloating. So don't do that. And lastly, one of the biggest causes I see for bloating can be parasites. So lots of people think, I live in the city, I can't be exposed to parasites. So this is really a myth. A lot of people have parasites and don't even know they have parasites. So it's only when your gut becomes imbalanced that people notice and then get tested. So I think personally we have evolved with parasites for generations and generations. I think they do become a problem when our gut is out of whack. So parasites definitely increase our intestinal inflammation, and they stop us from absorbing some of the nutrients that we would normally get. So what else happens with these little parasites is they gorge themselves on the food that we're supposed to be having, and then they produce these waste products, which are essentially toxic, and they can give us bloating. So if nothing else, you try everything else, you've been tested for SIBO and all those things, and your bloating doesn't resolve, it's definitely worthwhile getting a PCR test, stool test, to check for parasites. And it's probably a little bit easier now that COVID is watching. Hello, Christine. So I know a lot of people suffer from bloating. You know, I've polled my group and my Facebook group and my followers on Instagram. So I know it's a real concern for a lot of you. So that's why next week I am actually doing a 5-day challenge around bloating. So it was all about the things that are not food related, because it's easy to get caught up in food, and depending on how healthy your gut microbiome is and how healthy your gut bacteria is, that could be something that's making you bloat. So these are things that you can do that aren't related to food. There will be Facebook Lives giving you tips and tricks, and I'll be sending you a few recipes that will help get your bloat under control. If you haven't signed up to do it, it closes off on Friday, so I can get my act together and send emails out to you. So the link for Facebook is in this video. So if you're watching on Instagram, the link is in my bio, and the link is in the comments for LinkedIn. So I'll see you all tomorrow at 9:30. John, that's a very great question. Wondering how parasites get into the gut to begin with. There's parasites and stuff and germs and pathogens that come through on the food we eat. And that's when I talked about last week about our digestive fire. If your digestive fire isn't working how it's supposed to be, you will not kill those parasites or those pathogens or that bacteria. And that's how most people get it. It's something that's happening from their digestion up, so they haven't chewed it enough, they haven't broken down it enough, and then their hydrochloric acid hasn't taken care of those things. So that's generally how. So I hope that's a good answer for you. So everybody, I look forward to chatting to you tomorrow morning at 9:30 for Transformation Tuesday. Have a good afternoon, folks. Bye.